Everybody, I'm so excited. Welcome to another episode of You're Beautiful, and today I'm joined with Sydney.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Are you kidding me? Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're doing me a favor.
Well, no, we're both doing each other a favor. Ladies and gentlemen, let me set the stage for you. CJ made me aware yesterday that you were trying to reach out to me as we just celebrated the 2-year anniversary of You're
Congratulations,
Beautiful.
first and foremost. That's a really big deal. So yeah, but I wanted to write a story about it. Let people know that, the little of the history behind it. Let people know that you guys are going strong. Just that kind of thing. Get our readers out there and listening.
Well, I love this. And what you said is like you're doing a favor. No, you're doing me a favor. So today I didn't have a guest scheduled. Mm-hmm. We reached out, did some small talk. Yep. And I said, hey, I got this crazy idea. How about interview me live on the podcast? And ladies and gentlemen, look, it's happening. Right?
Yeah, it's the year of yes. I always tell CJ that. So that's a whole thing. Yeah. Yeah, very fun.
And what's really cool about this for me is you're going to interview me, but you truly get to see how random this is. If you and I just spoke, late morning, here you are at 2 p.m., no preparations.
Here we go. I have a couple of questions,
so,
but yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, some of you've been nervous to be a guest on this podcast, and now we're doing a role reversal. Yeah. Now I'm in the hot seat, and I am ready to get started when you are.
Yeah, it's kind of strange, I imagine, because we're reversing it. You're usually the one interviewing. In my job, I'm usually the one interviewing. So, I always get nervous when CJ's the one interviewing me. So it's kind of the same thing going on now. But it'll be fun. It's going to be fun.
And I want you guys to know, I did offer her this chair, this hot microphone. Nope. She says she's comfy.
I'm scared. I'm scared of that position. I'm scared of the buttons. I don't know how to do any of it. So
MJ, I know you're out there. We were talking about, mutual friends here. And we were talking about pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the blooper reel 101. Hey, if I can, because you can see I'm very all over the place.
I love that.
I call myself a squirrel.
Right.
But I did want to do a really quick shout out if I can. I normally ask my guest, and today I'm the guest, if they want to do a shout out. So I want to throw a shout out.
It's your show. Make it happen.
Happy birthday, Josh and Chloe. Josh is my oldest, turned 33 today, and Chloe is number 5. She's turning 14 today. So 2 of my 6 kids share the same
what a
birthday.
Wild thing.
So
well, happy birthday to your kids. That's awesome.
Hey, thank you. Okay, so I'm ready.
Okay, well, sweet. Well, I don't know. Let's just jump in.
I don't know. That's how we do it.
It's kind of funny. I don't know if you ever experienced this, but sometimes when I'm interviewing people and they're excited about it, and then I say, I'm going to start recording audio. Is that okay? And they say, oh, God. And I say, no, it's okay. It's okay. But they get so nervous. But that being said, it's just a conversation. We got this. It's going to be fun. But yeah, I've watched a lot of You're Beautiful over the last 2 years. I've written about it a couple of times, which has been really cool to see and to meet some of your guests and that kind of thing. But 2 years ago, you decided you were going to start this. What made you decide? What was that deciding factor that was like, you know what, we're going to take this from a dream to a reality?
I'm so glad you asked that. So last week I did have a 2-year episode, and I shared that with everybody. Inspiration, shout out. He's not with us now, but Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I was truly inspired by the song Man in the Mirror. My wife took me to the Fox, and we got to watch a tribute to Michael Jackson. And I also want to interject, too. So last night, we're driving home from basketball, and my son's in the car with his girlfriend. He's a huge athlete, baseball. Yeah. And the kids get to have walk-up songs. And he was sharing some of the walk-up songs with her, and he said, this is my favorite one, and it was Man in the Mirror.
Wow, yeah.
So it's really an impact, for me. And so I don't know all the lyrics. You would think I would know all the lyrics being my favorite song. Yeah. But what really catches me, are you ready to make a difference, and are you ready to make a change? Mm-hmm. And, I a lot of times people have New Year's resolutions, right? So they'll wait all year to make that New Year's resolution. Now, I'm ready to make a difference. I'm ready to make a change. I'm just going to say the Holy Spirit took over with the fact of stop putting things on pause. MJ's been with me. I'm going to bring up Cole's name later in the show. it was on my heart to do it, but I never did it because I'm like, man, I don't know the IT. I don't know this. And I just ran with it. And look at us now, 2 years later, backed by RiverBender.com, the Hentrick family, you, CJ. There's so many people to be thankful for. But I also like to shout out to you guys, even though I'm the one being interviewed. That was a raw moment, 52 years of age, that I said something and I did it without having it all together. And that's what your beautiful is you don't have to have it all together. We are broken people. And in 2019, I got saved. And when I tell you that, I didn't grow up with a background of church or God. I mean, you've heard the name God, you've heard Jesus. I was Brian Trust, Flesh Life, partying up in the bars, softball. I like to believe being normal, you know, what everybody else does.
For sure, yeah.
Man, it got started being invited to church and got to learn who Jesus was. And it may sound crazy because I tell people I'm an open book. You can tell stories about me being in the bar, the softball, dropping the F-bombs. You know, just, I like to believe Flesh Life.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be true to me to not share that with everybody. And RiverBender gave me that opportunity. So I'm talking to all of you. I'm broken. I struggle. I stress. And I know I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
No, please. Okay. I love to hear about it.
So it's like perception. Aren't we all guilty? You don't have to answer and you don't have to answer. But aren't we all guilty of still judging people, sizing people up by the way they look, the way they're dressed? I'm guilty of it, you know? So I feel like a lot of times, Brian trusts this, Brian trusts that. Well, Brian trusts this and Brian trusts that, still stresses about paying the bills and still. So I might be on this podcast and I'm glowing because I do have Jesus now. It wasn't always like that. But I want to promise all of you, whatever perception you may have of me, and I'm gonna use the financial level. Okay, I get a lot of people, it must be nice. Okay, well, guess what? I still stress. I still wig out. And then I go into hypocrite mode. How can I have a podcast of your beautiful faith over fear that if you love Jesus, Jesus will provide? But I'm telling you it's normal. And I believe all that. I have faith. But the flesh life can take over and wig out. So, Logan out there, my employee, says I'm very long-winded, but I promise by the end of the podcast it all has a meaning. We all go through these things, and I hope that every hour of this podcast, not necessarily me, because people may get tired of listening to me, but that's why we bring guests on. Yeah. The guest may have something that may be relatable to somebody listening or watching, and I don't know the Bible, I'm learning, but they say he left the 99 and got the one. So my mission has always been at every end of the episode that we've just reached one.
That's really cool. Yeah. Well, I think that's the cool part about this too, is you're very open about just like, you know, life happens and the flesh life is how you refer to it, which I like that term a lot. I think that just is how a lot of people live. You don't realize, or, you know, you're just trying to get through the next week or whatever. And so I think that probably resonates with a lot of folks, really.
You really never know. You know, you see Facebook all the time. I always use Facebook. That's my generation. I'm still learning Snap and all that. But, you know, you see a lot of those pictures, and sometimes you don't have to have a statement of it, but there's a picture, and it always says, like, I always remember the one where it's like a piece of string, and it says, your conversation just saved that person that was just hanging from a piece of string. I probably
You never know.
You just never know what someone's going through, and I'm hoping, like, I'm still wearing it, Mom, from last week. This bracelet simply says, be kind. Yeah. So I just hope that this podcast, including myself, this podcast keeps my humility to simply just be kind. Absolutely. Like, I'm almost here and telling you this because I have my struggles. Yeah, I do. That's real. So a lot of times I almost call this podcast my therapy.
Just to be able to sit and talk with someone else who gets it, I imagine that goes a long way for your guests and for you too, just to have those conversations. Absolutely. That's awesome.
It's going to sound crazy. I was saved, but this show has also saved me.
Yeah, that's really incredible. I love that. I love that. And I think that's a good point too, is church can be whatever you need it to be for a lot of folks too. Mm-hmm. So that's a big part of it. And I love, listening to you speak. You're so open about the fact that you don't know everything. You're not a minister, you're learning as you do this too. What are some of the things you've learned over the last 2 years? What are some of the things that stand out?
A bunch.
Yeah.
Resilience.
Yes, that's a big one.
I want to use resilience because I've had so many guests share so many things on and off this podcast. And again, here I am with this podcast. Now, to be clear, my podcast is the importance of a relationship.
Yes.
I don't knock church. I don't knock the Bible, but sure. I don't know them. And so this relationship's so important. So when I use the word resilience, there's been guests here. And you got to tune in to RiverBender. You can always go and view all the previous episodes. But so many people have been so open and shared things with me that my flesh life says, how?
Yeah.
So, religion talks about faith. Yeah. The Bible talks about faith and so many things. Mm-hmm. But my flesh life, I will be like, how?
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. So I call that resilience. Just a couple weeks ago, a gal told me she was stage 4 cancer.
It's hard.
And here she's thriving and she's kicking. And so resilience would definitely be one of those.
Do you ever, I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm interviewing people, I hear about sometimes you talk to people in this job in the worst days or, whatever. And it just is oh my goodness. And you kind of remind yourself, I cannot complain, I should shut up is what I tell myself sometimes, that kind of thing. So I'm sure you get that sometimes too with the people that you have on the show, just that feeling of wow, the world is a lot wilder and there's a lot of faith out there. And that is pretty impressive.
And with you sharing that, when I want to go back to that resilience, exactly what you just said, some of those guests are that very same statement of they've been through it all.
Yeah.
But they're the ones that are the most grateful.
Isn't that incredible? Yeah.
It's amazing. And honestly, it's what keeps me going. There's been many times that I'll reach out. Matter of fact, Brittany's been on the podcast several times. She's been truly helping me by getting guests to come on the podcast. And I know it's not easy. It's Thursday. It's the middle of the day. But I give up. Yeah. I'm just going to ask CJ to play a previous episode for me. So sometimes it's a struggle for me to go. But there's people out there. Through the guest, you meet these people who become extended family. And you got to do this. This is God's work. This is... And I'm you're right. I gotta go. What was I thinking? So there's so much help out there.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing too, is there is a lot of help out there, whether that is through God and your relationship with God, or just there are some amazing people doing some amazing work in our community too that I always try to highlight, and I'm sure I know you've had a couple people on that talk about their work with Amare and other organizations that are doing just incredible things for the people in our community. It's so life-giving. It's so cool.
I'm speechless in that department.
Yeah.
There's so many guests that I could bring up, TC, Amari, so many people that you say, and they've shared their testimonies on this podcast. And what really blows my mind is how much they give back. It's they're not just doing it for and don't get me wrong, social media, let me get the likes and the engagements. Sure. But so many of these guests do so many things that we can see social media above and beyond that. But that's their mission. They're not just saying it. They're doing it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Love it.
It's incredible. It's a very inspirational thing to see. And to see that on this show or CJ's show or whatever else, just to see these people in our neighbors who are doing these great things in the name of God or in the name of just giving back, whatever your higher power is. I think that's the coolest thing. And it's neat that you're able to highlight a lot of those people on the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
I got to also say thank you, too. I always say it every episode. I want to give thanks to RiverBender.com and the Hentrick family because, Sydney, I never get invasive or to ask you or anybody else, but, a lot of us, I like to believe the majority of people know who God is, right? But I also believe we have a selective relationship with Him. And what I mean by that is, what atmosphere are we in that I still want to love Jesus? I know in my heart I love Jesus, but I'm across the street, I'm having lunch and dinner, but you gotta... I can't really pray over my meal because the element's not right.
So that can be hard.
So the reason why I really want to give the Hentrick family and RiverBender.com so much gratitude, so much thanks, because it's a big risk for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, here I'm talking about God and Jesus on their platform, and sometimes that could drive people away. So I applaud them for allowing this airtime to go ahead and speak of his glory and the goodness of God. Now, I believe my intentions are 100% pure.
Right.
Speaking the goodness of God, but that's not always, you could work somewhere. I've actually had a guest on my podcast who left her job. Now, that's through her will.
Yeah. But
she left her job because the owner didn't appreciate how she spoke with, clients and what have you about the goodness of God.
Okay.
So when I give thanks, those stories are out there.
Well, and I think that's a good thing to bring up too, because it is, it's hard to, they always say, don't talk about politics, religion, and, financials. And those are the rules that people tend to follow. But it obviously was on your heart to do something a little bit more vocal and a little bit more present and visible out there and let people know, no, I believe and I'm proud to believe. So talk to me a little bit about that and not coming to that decision, but just that, I guess, that piece of knowing that you were going to do that anyway, even though it could be difficult. Yeah.
So since I do everything long story, let me go with my little bit long story.
Go for it.
He's also been a guest. He's my brother, Jason Harrison.
He's great.
Exactly. So here I want to give an example. The guy hustles for his family. Not only does he hustle for his family, he hustles for this community.
Absolutely.
I really believe Jason Harrison has the best interest in our community. Mm-hmm. So he invited me one time to his house. He was bringing a bunch of people together. I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to speed it up. So to all these people, we were talking about life building. Mm-hmm. Other people have mentioned ChatGPT to me, and I just never took an interest in it. Well, he was sharing with all these individuals of our community how to use ChatGPT to help them. Now, I know there's some people who are against AI, but that's not the moral of this story. But the reality is this, where he may have gained an advancement and efficiency, whatever he's done in his life by having ChatGPT, he chose to share that.
That's pretty cool.
With all the people that were in this room, because he only wanted to see these people improve in life, right? So my analogy is this. I'm getting goosebumps. Mm-hmm. I've seen what a difference of having Jesus in my life as a relationship. How those flesh life stress and those worries that I feel all of us go through, what a difference it's made my life. I wanted to be the Jason Harrison and share it with everybody. Yeah. What kind of person would I be if I didn't share it? And that's what testimony is. I like people to believe that's no way that's trust, because I know they're out there. You know what I mean? There's no way that's trust talking about Jesus. But getting to share how I used to be and who I am today in these experiences, I want to share it with everybody.
Absolutely.
So I know it's long. Logan, again, I know it's a long story.
No.
But there's a meaning to it. And that's why my heart's driven to do it. Because if he could use someone like me, you hear that in songs, he chose me, why would I not want to, especially to have this platform, to share that with each and everybody else out there that, hey, those struggles you're talking about, I've been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I cannot explain it. Matter of fact, I'm going to just do it with you right now. It's called peace.
Yeah.
I could tell you about peace, but until you experience it, it's just like, oh, he's talking holy water, he's talking sugar water, right?
Right.
So this peace that I have found in my life, that no matter what I'm going through, it's possible. Mm-hmm. That's what this podcast is about. I've been through it. My guests have been through it. And how we get through it, you just have to experience it for yourself to truly know the understanding of peace, and you get that with a relationship with Jesus. Let me give you a crazy one if I can.
Yeah,
just this morning. For those that don't know, even though John has given me the opportunity and the ability, and I'm a paid sponsor, I own Trust Family Auto Sales. But you can watch all my podcasts. I'm not always putting myself on blast and just promoting Trust Family Auto Sales. But let me just kind of share something with you today. I sold a car at an auction. There's a policy. If you don't turn the title in within 30 days, the guy could send the car back.
Oh, interesting.
Okay? So if you made a little bit of money, you're like, man, I don't want the car back. I want that money.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get that money until I turn the title in. So anyways, they were pretty urgent and persistent the last couple of days. Hey, the guy said he's done. He's sending you the car back. Not only is he sending you the car back, he had to pay for it to get to where he's at, and he's got to pay to get it back to you. The old me would have been furious and frustrated, commission, what have you. And I'm like, guys, it is what it is. If I don't have the title, he's entitled to charge me to and from. So just turn the car back. I'm just saying it was just a much more peaceful approach.
Yeah, I get that.
God gives you that peace to where, like, okay, it is what, and no matter what you're going through, now I'm elevating it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't make my car payment. Oh, okay, I didn't pay the mortgage. Would you agree those are terrible things? Because I would.
Stressful,
right?
Yeah.
But I'm not in jail.
Yeah, true.
I mean, CJ
it gives
even
perspective,
says that.
Yeah,
CJ even says that, hey, stay out of jail. You know,
yeah.
But the thing is you just start getting that gratitude and that appreciation of, this, I don't know if I can say it, but I'm going to say it. This sucks. But it's okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, I'm kicking and there's these opportunities and there's avenues and it's going to drive me batty in my flesh life, but it's okay.
Well, I think there's a lot to be said for that piece, and finding that is a gift for sure. And I think speaking about it provides a lot of hope to people who maybe aren't there yet, just to realize, like, hey, that's possible. In this life, you can find that level of peace and calm and trust in someone else, you know?
You cannot put a price on peace.
So true, yeah.
You know what's crazy? And I'm going to say this. Do you realize we're already 20 minutes into the podcast?
Time flies down
We
here.
haven't even done a commercial.
Time flies.
And before this started, I'm like, you know, you see it. We just talked about this today. There is no script. But in order for this podcast to continue, guys, I got to go to a commercial break. And I thank all of you, as I mentioned before, when you have this platform and you're talking Jesus, that could scare a lot of people. So I'm really proud of all those people who sponsor and endorse here with RiverBender.com. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Meet the Classic Edge HDX outdoor wood furnace. Best-in-class efficiency, durability, and smart technology. At Backyard Boilers, we're your trusted central boiler dealer, bringing you EPA-certified outdoor furnaces that burn up to 60% less wood. With the Firestar controller, you can monitor your system right from your phone. Built with titanium-enhanced stainless steel, these furnaces are made to last. Call Backyard Boilers in Perry, Illinois today at 217-473-7568 and make this your warmest, most efficient winter yet.
At Alton Elite Jiu-Jitsu, we help students of all ages build confidence, discipline, and real-world strength. Join a supportive community that challenges you to grow both on and off the mat. Experience the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with a 7-day free trial at our new location. Call 618-795-2692 or visit altonelite.com to start your journey today. Train hard, serve others, live elite at Alton Elite Jiu-Jitsu.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
As the storm hits, your roof protects everything underneath it. Trust the storm damage and roof replacement experts, Archer Roofing and Restoration, providing free inspections, help with insurance claims, and offer financing options that make replacing your roof affordable. Proudly veteran-owned and community-focused. We're here when our neighbors need us most. Call 618-575-0016 or visit archerroof.com today.
Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as a northern star. And I said, constant in the darkness.
You recognize this song,
I
don't
like
you?
this song, yeah. This is Joni Mitchell. I like her.
Yeah, and it's called A Case of You, isn't it?
Yeah, I just like the idea. It's not a very spiritual song necessarily, but I like it because it is just about, you know, loving someone and caring about them and wanting to be around him all the time. And I just think that's kind of neat. So you asked me what my favorite song is for one of them, and I was like, you know what? This is the one that stands out right now. So yeah.
Isn't it cool that I played it?
Yeah, it's awesome.
So that's kind of one of the things. And again, I know that you're interviewing me, but we're talking about the podcast, right?
Yeah, we're just chatting.
So a lot of times when guests say they want to come on, or I invite guests, I only ask them a few questions. What's your favorite faith scripture? What's your favorite faith song? And do you have any pictures that you want to share? So again, like we're telling everybody, I did reach out to you, 10 minutes before the podcast. Hey, would you like a favorite song? But if you remember, I said you're not obligated to answer.
Yeah, no pressure.
You replied and you said it's not necessarily
what you usually do, but
But you know what? That's okay, and that's what I want to remind people about this podcast. Mm-hmm. When you come in here, there is no obligations. This is a safe environment. This is a comfortable environment. Larry Bell, in case you were going to ask who was my most nervous guest,
really?
Larry Bell. So, I remember Larry pacing right before you come on, whether it be, the microphones or being on TV, people get nervous. But to share that song with you, there doesn't have to be necessarily a meaning, but I know it's your favorite.
Yeah, I just like it.
And here's what I like. Are you ready? Because you're not expecting any of this.
Let's hear it.
So it's not even here. I'm going to show it to you. So I like it because I was listening to the lyrics before I got it. And ladies and gentlemen, so even though the podcast isn't over, I took this song, I took the lyrics, I did say I creeped you, and I will creep you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're on Facebook, I kind of like to get to know you.
I'm a little nervous.
Even though it's unscripted, right?
Yeah, right.
I just kind of like to know. So no one's going to know this better than you. Okay? You know the lyrics, you know the song.
I do.
Are you ready?
I guess
so. If Sydney, next Thursday, if Sydney decides to take over the podcast and have it, here's her cover. Look at this.
There we go. That looks good.
Isn't that? They talked about the Northern Star.
That's pretty impressive.
Right? They talked about
Canada. Yeah.
So what I really enjoy about that, like I said, some people aren't huge fans of AI, but in that short amount of time,
it's pretty impressive.
I was able to put those lyrics together. So to me, that song has meaning, and you shared that with us.
Yeah, it's fun.
I like to use that Chat GPT and
fancy.
put a little bit of meaning to it.
Very
I'll send
fancy.
you a picture after these.
Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I gotta see that and explore it a little bit. But no, that's pretty cool. It's neat what it can do for sure. It's neat what's out there. But
sure.
no,
and there's fears of it. Don't get me wrong. There's a whole other podcast I do, Conspiracies and Mysteries, and we did do one on AI, but totally different. So. You guys already know that I don't shut up, so I'm turning the microphone back over to Cindy. What else you got for me, hon?
Well, I'm curious. You mentioned a couple of your guests so far that have, your most nervous guest lovingly and so forth.
Love you, Larry.
Yeah, but I'm curious about some of the guests that have stood out for you. I know I've listened to quite a few of your beautiful episodes before, and there are a few that to me I remember, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was really powerful. But I'm curious for you, what are some of the stories that you've heard, or some of the people who have really stood out and made this what you wanted it to be?
I would like to start by saying, and I'm not saying it to be neutral, I'm going to say every one of them.
For sure. That's a real answer.
Every one of them has a different story, has a different testimony. Are there some unique ones? I mean, I won't go there, but I do have one I call the Jerry Springer episode. I have another one where, I will elaborate on this one, where the guy told me he was a mule, a drug runner, and he blew up the entire cartel's because he didn't feel it was right. So there's some kind of crazy some stuff. I've had some guests answer things the way I didn't think they would answer them, but totally blew me off the wall. That was powerful.
Yeah.
But overall, this podcast wouldn't exist if it wasn't for. So again, I'm not trying to.
No, I get it.
Every
Hard
single
to
one
choose,
of them.
yeah.
Absolutely. My brothers, I love it anymore. A lot of times we talk about. Are you ready to make a change? Are you ready to make a difference? And that's a statement, right? But for me, it's a mission. And my mission is now 2 years later, and you and I are talking. Well, there's a guy that I absolutely love, and he has a mission, and it's called You Can Begin Again.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
To me, it resonates so much with what I'm doing. But there's people out there that are before me, current or even thereafter, and I just love You Can Begin Again because it sounds so simple. And for some people, they don't feel like they can begin again.
Yeah, that's a real fear.
But his mission is you can begin again. Mm-hmm. And he has guests as well and testimonies of what they've been through. So, yeah, I know I'm all over the place, back in that squirrel Squirrel mode. But this is what I call my church. You know, some people think church is on Sunday. Mine's Thursday at 2 p.m. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot more like we talk about. I'm never telling you don't go to church. I'm never doing that. But church could be in the car for me.
Yeah.
Church is in the recliner for me. So again, going back to those guests, I think that's an excellent question that you asked. But you could randomly pull up the website right now and call out a guest, and I could tell you something memorable about each and every one of them. So
well, and I love your point about there are guests who don't answer the way you expect them to. I think that happens a lot in interviewing anybody, but also just in life. A lot of the times, you just talk to people and you're like, oh, I didn't expect that from you, or I didn't expect to have this conversation today, or whatever. And it's usually the thing that you like most needed to hear, or the thing that you most expected, you know, or you're not expected, but the most important thing you were going to hear that day. You're like, wow.
Are you ready to role play?
Sure.
You up for it?
Well, let's hear it.
Okay,
What's going on?
Fantastic. Let's pick a best friend.
Okay.
You have a name? A best friend?
I have. Oh, geez, I can't
Okay,
call out just one
we'll
person.
Just go Jane Doe.
Okay,
So
Jane Doe.
right,
My
so
friend Jane Doe. Yes.
Okay, and this particular Jane Doe, if there was any dream place that you can go to, where would it be?
Greece.
Great. Okay, fantastic. Yeah. So ready? Now we're gonna paint a picture.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You and Jane Doe, you're on the airplane.
Uh-huh.
You're going to Greece. How awesome is that? Right?
Yeah,
it's
sounds
awesome,
great.
okay?
Yeah.
But then as you're traveling, there's turbulence.
Oh no.
Right? Yeah. The plane is shaking.
Uh-huh.
You've had that before, but now it's shaking a little bit more into a stage of what's going on here, right?
Sure.
So you're sitting in the seat side by side, but in between you, the oxygen mask drops.
Uh-huh.
Who are you putting on first?
Well, that's always such a hard question, because you know it's what do they say? They say you got to put it on your first self to help others, right? That's what they always say. But it's hard to sacrifice that and to say I'm not going to do it for the other person.
So I tell everybody you can't answer that question wrong. Okay, a lot of people, I want to say 90% of the time, will say I'm putting it on my daughter, I'm putting it on my kid because I love them,
of
right?
Of course.
But for me, in the spiritual walk that I've learned, how can you help others if you're not right first?
That's very true, yeah.
So for me, the answer is, again, you can't answer it wrong, but the answer is, let me go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
So I can be taken care of, so I can take care of you. Because how do we expect to take care of other people if we're not right? And that's like Flesh Life today. Mentally, physically, what have you. But I did have a guest. What's up, Lauren? Lauren answered it in such a powerful spiritual way that just blew my mind. So when you talk about guests and some different things, I was like, whoa, how do I even have a podcast? For her to answer the way she did.
That's pretty cool.
You know, but she's been in church her entire life, so she is, and I'm just going to throw it, she surrendered to God. So, okay, so I've been saved, but to me, surrender is a completely different definition. So a lot of times on these podcasts, I'm using it right now, I might say, hey, I'm asking for a friend, and the reality is, I need to better understand it. So even though 2 years later I got saved at 19, my flesh life, as I talk to you guys, my humility is, have I really surrendered? And let me explain that. To me, surrender is an understanding where everything you're doing, now you're still going to fall short.
Yeah.
But everything you're doing is in the glory of God. And I don't feel like I'm there yet because I still fall short. And I also never want to be a hypocrite of my own podcast. So am I going to tilt a couple back if I go on a float trip, or we're leaving for Iowa this weekend for baseball? We always talk sports on here. So it's being true to those people who listen and who watch that today when I speak or I hear a guest speak, if I don't understand something, I might use my humor and say, hey, I'm just asking for a friend. But the truth is, I'm like,
yeah, right. Fill me in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So again, I know I'm all over the place, but you could ask a question and you could just see I'm ready.
I think that's a big part of it. I think that's what resonates with a lot of folks, is that level of just being willing to be open to it and find out the answers alongside people, you know, walking alongside folks and saying, like, we're going to figure this out together. I think that goes a long way for a lot of people.
And I want to add, you may not have asked, because again, I'm squirrel mode. That is one thing that this podcast I didn't anticipate.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I had a vision, I had an idea, and it's been... blessed is the only word that I could speak of, but I would tell people this. Hey, I may not have the answer, but I promise you the resources.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that I do like about this podcast, there's so many things, like one of my early guests, and he's on RiverBender all the time, Steve Pegram with Got Faith.
Great guy.
You know, you get to run into people, Riverbend Ministries, you mentioned Amari, that there's so many things out there, but a lot of us in the flesh life, we don't want to swallow our pride or admit, but if we're willing to make a change, make that difference, and reach out to these people, and I'll always ask the question too, is it free?
Yeah.
You know, so again, I know I'm all over the place, but that's more of what this podcast has done, not just for me.
Absolutely.
But as the Daily Show does, it raises awareness for what's out there. Man, I just feel like I'm looking at the time like, John, can we have all day?
Yeah, right. That'd be
like
fun.
I just keep on going and
No,
going.
but I get it. Yeah.
But I will tell you, 2 years later, there's been so many things that have. I don't really had expectations other than reaching the one.
Yeah, right.
That was the number one
That was
mission,
the goal.
was to reach one. But now I feel like I'm so blessed with the newfound relationships. Not only do I have with people on a personal level, but a resource.
Yeah, absolutely.
Level.
To be able to
I just
give
think it's
people that.
awesome. Yeah.
Just to be able to connect the community with people around here who need it. That's just so important. And absolutely, that's my favorite thing to do in my job too. So I get it. It's a big deal.
Let's be honest. In my opinion, we're hurting.
A lot of people. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, perception.
Yeah.
I may own a business, right? I may own this, and I don't have a personal gas card. I have a business gas card. But the last 2 weeks
It's hard.
of driving,
It's hard.
my kid plays basketball. My 12-year-old, he's at the Beal Center in Chesterfield. We were there for a doubleheader last night. They both play baseball, so we travel a lot. But man, in a car that I'm used to filling the gas tank up for $50 and it's $90 now, I'm blessed to say, okay, I'm going to put it on the company car. But just because I own the place doesn't mean I'm not cringing at it.
Yeah, right.
So then it makes me, like you were talking about earlier, about gratitude. Then it makes me wonder, okay, let's go back to the 19-year-old Brian, where my wife and I would go to Schnucks and take $20 out for gas because we needed it.
That's real.
There's some who are not in the position that I'm in. Now, don't be wrong, I still got to pay it back.
Right.
But food.
Perspective. It's all, it's all of it.
Food,
Yeah.
Matter of fact, restaurants, I want to come out for you to endorse RiverBender, because I'm not going to do it now. You need to be a paid sponsor. Like, I know where to go 7 days a week for the deal. You know?
Absolutely.
But the reality of the message that I'm saying is, I don't care if you're middle class, poverty, rich. I mean, we're waking up to a reality check on how much things cost right now.
Yeah. It's hard. The world is scary right now. Just you look at that, or just in general, it's a scary time just to be a person right now. And I think a lot of people are turning to resources like this and their relationships with God and each other just to figure out how to do that.
Nailed it. That's the number one resource.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is to put it in his hands. And no matter what it is, you might think that's little, ladies and gentlemen, like $50 of gas. You may think that's little. Okay, if it's little for you, somebody else out there is hurting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, it may sound goofy to you, but when you hear people say pray on it, ladies and gentlemen, it takes 30 seconds of your time to say, Dear Heavenly Father, I'm seeing these people at the pump. They don't have the means and the ability to pay for this gas, but yet you hear the wife say, I just found $1 under the seat or stuff. Some of these things may sound sarcastic, but I had another guest who just taught me about praying over people.
Yeah.
Nancy Teague, you know, because I'm so big into social media, I would say to her or to you, you know, I got my Meta glasses. I always got my phone ready to record. And it's like, okay, they're walking across the street. They're going to trip and fall, and I got it on camera, right? And that's one way to look at it, right? For the funnies.
Sure.
But then Nancy was teaching me, well, Brian, why don't you pray over her so she gets across the street
Yeah, I love
safely.
that.
So a lot of my guests have woke me up from my flesh life to that's life we're talking about. So I'm still guilty.
We all are.
But, you know, the more you practice this relationship with Jesus, there's not a doubt in my mind. There is not a doubt in my mind that you don't become a better spouse, a better parent, a better employer. Because, again, flesh life, we're all going through it. But if you invest in yourself, again, I can guarantee it, but I can't explain it, life is so much better.
You know, you said two really interesting things there. I mean, it's all interesting, but two things that stood out to me, which was that idea of waking up a little bit, which I thought was fascinating, and also practicing your relationship. I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think a lot of people worry, if I don't go into this perfectly, you know, then I'm messing something up. I'm offending someone. It's a problem. But to your point, you can practice that a little bit, and each day is a practice to figure out how to do it and figure out how to do it. You can't do anything incorrectly in this situation, but you know, just learning how to live and how to worship and whatever that looks like for you. It sounds like that's a big part of it.
Yeah, if I can highlight on the topic we're on right now, and I'm going to talk to them as well as you.
Please.
Be intentional. And what I mean by that, where you feel like you're going to fall short if you walk in a church because the way you're dressed, that's why they say come as you are. The minute you stop worrying about how everybody else perceives you and focus on you and your intimate relationship with God, the conversations you have with our Heavenly Father, that's intimate. That's just between the two of you, because you might tell that to the Jane Doe we spoke of earlier, and Jane Doe might get upset and then start telling your inner secrets.
Sure.
Not intentionally, but that's what happens in the flesh life.
Yeah.
So when you start focusing on you, first and foremost, here, Mark Lemons, if you're out there and you're listening, I remember before I got saved, and he would always talk, I put God first, and then my wife. I'm like, bro, man, if I told my wife that, I would be traumatized, you know, because I didn't have an understanding. I didn't appreciate it. But now that I understand it, now I want to share it with everybody else. If you get right and you have that relationship, you are going to notice a personal change about yourself to where you're going to be handling situations and circumstances differently. They might not always be the outcome, right? But you have peace on how I handle that. You might have felt like you handled the best, but the other person, like, I don't care.
Yeah, sure.
But you know what? When you start caring about you, then you start increasing and bettering your own mental health.
Absolutely.
You start appreciating life. Because no matter where you're at in life today, I don't care where you're at on a financial status or a relationship status, I'm going to give you the big scare. When your health goes bad, and let me remind you, if you don't believe in God and whatever other practices you have, that's fine. And let's just say you become this individual where you get that health scare, that's like the writing's on the wall, and you want to reach out to God, can I tell you something? He's going to open his arms. So don't ever think it's too late, that whatever you're dealing with, that you can't reach out to him. Like I told you, I'm 54 right now. I got saved in 19, so I don't know the math, but I didn't get to know him until my late 40s. It's never too late. And then here's what's crazy. When you reach out to him, no matter what you're going through, and I'm telling you, he's embracing you with open arms. Let's use some car analogy.
Yeah.
I sell cars.
Let's hear it.
The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. So stop looking back. Look ahead. And that's the cool thing, that when you do get into the word, relationship first, word means nothing unless you have a relationship, right? When you do get into the word and you realize the sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice that he made for us, too late's not an issue.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I think that's relieving.
You said you think that's what?
You're
beautiful.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're beautiful. And here's the crazy thing. Let's say you think that you are the person. Well, let's just use me. I didn't get to know him until my late 40s, right? What if this podcast, what if it truly helps somebody?
Yeah.
So God uses broken people to make a difference. And that's what this podcast is about. And that's why I titled it, to remind people, you're beautiful.
Absolutely.
The only thing holding you back is you.
I love that. I think that's what a lot of people need to be reminded of.
That's why the song's Man in the Mirror.
I love it.
Woman or man, all you got to do is look in the mirror and declare that you are going to make a difference and you are going to make a change.
Absolutely.
And you know the best thing when you do that also? You're going to realize, and you never looked for it before, you're going to realize that you have a superpower.
No, yeah.
That superpower may be the cure to cancer, but you never approach it because you have this anxiety and this depression that you feel like you have no purpose in life.
Yeah, I think
that's
a lot
a disease.
Of people,
right? It's a disease. But what if today you made a difference and you made a change? God's already given you the superpower.
Absolutely.
Now you're just going to start exploring it And what if you talk that person off the edge of a cliff? What if you talk that person to save their marriage because you used your own personal testimony in life that was relatable to the person you're speaking to? So yes, one person can make a difference, and that one person's right there.
Absolutely. No, I think that's the most wonderful part about it is just realizing and through your show, showing people like, hey, you can, by giving your testimony, by opening yourself up a little bit, that's a scary thing. Like, let's not underplay that. That is a scary and vulnerable thing to do. But just saying, like, you know what, you have what it takes inside of you to help someone else, that goes a long way. So absolutely.
And again, I just want to say this, with social media being so big.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people who I've had on this podcast, and it is a big deal for them to come on because their heart is Jesus, but in the flesh life, they're like, yo, I got this image to keep. I've got this. But I have seen where some of these guests, where it may not be coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence anymore. I want to say God's timing, but you'll start seeing a few days later, they're speaking positivity. And folks, it's another word I love, manifestation.
Oh, yeah.
If you speak it, believe it. And here, I don't always wake up matter of fact, I will tell you this, no matter how rough the day is, how tired I am, 2 o'clock, these mics go on, I become a different person, and I love it.
Happen,
right? But that doesn't mean I still don't wake up with fear, depression, anxiety. And I want you all to know, everyone's going to tell you to go to the Bible, okay? I struggled with that. Because I don't understand the Bible.
I think a lot of people struggle with that.
So my alternative, YouTube. It's free.
Yeah.
I personally love Denzel Washington, Steve Harvey, Matthew McConaughey. I listen to motivation. Sometimes I listen to the same thing over and over and over again. But I encourage you, first and foremost, have that intimate relationship. Reach out. Tell them all the negative. Tell them all the positive. Pray for others. Who are you praying for? Just be random. A name could have came up in conversation. Not only just a name, but a business could be struggling. Pray for that business. That's where you start. And then after that, if you need some more, YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay? How many of us are playing video? What do I play? Kingdom Crush? I don't even know what game I play. But what if you just invested into yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
5 minutes, 10 minutes of positivity that manifests into your spiritual soul. So when you get in the general public's eye, what's up? How you doing? May I tell you, you look absolutely beautiful today.
I'm sure, that means a lot.
Be different.
Absolutely.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Well, and to be able to give yourself those few minutes and say, like, no, this is for me and me getting better, and this is for God. I think that goes a long way for a lot of people, just to be able to give themselves that permission, I guess, to do that.
That's what I hope this podcast does. I mean, I really do. A lot of my posts will say, stop scrolling. They just see us two talking. They don't know what we're talking about. So let's go on to the next, maybe better thing. But what if you just invested? It doesn't have to be Brian Trustin, you're beautiful. What if you invested into somebody that you look up to or what have you? They've been through it. And I love it, especially the athletes today or whoever they are, that they use platforms to speak Jesus. Because I'm telling you, some of it's uncomfortable. Some people don't want to be seen. You can see the most rawest things happening, and they're also the most Bible-thumping people. Yeah. So, I applaud you. This wasn't staged. This wasn't set up.
We're just here to do it.
We're just here. And that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's what America is missing today. Conversations.
Absolutely.
We're just having conversations.
And I'm out of questions. We are just chatting, and I appreciate that we're just chatting. But I'm out of questions, and I feel like I've learned a lot from this conversation just about you and the podcast. And it's great to hear people, you talk about it and kind of the thought behind it, and seeing how that's been realized over the last 2 years. I think that's so cool. Cool is probably not the right word, but.
Well, and it's real because I had thought process of not showing up today.
Really? Yeah.
But because of your response and wanting to do this, we have just now created another podcast that hopefully at the end of this podcast, or people who view it, that we reach just one. So I'm thanking you. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm encouraging you, get out of your comfort zone. This was not planned.
No.
We are having a fantastic conversation. Just start doing things different. And the things that you already do, there's another word that I absolutely love. Be intentional. Yes. So I'm fortunate that I get to coach a lot of kids and sports, And some of it just becomes what they call reps. Hey, get the reps in, get this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be intentional. And I want you to use that intentional in all aspects of life. So like when you wake up, be intentional and give God thanks.
Yeah.
Because without the simple things of the air in your lungs, which is not so simple.
Yeah.
But because you have the air in the lungs, you get to get up and use the restroom. Do you know some people didn't wake up today? Do you know some people may have a catheter bag or whatever?
Absolutely,
That's not
yeah.
so easy. So when you start thinking of those things, and you start practicing this every day, I'm telling you what a change in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost done. That didn't mean that today I didn't wake up and was stressed to check my banking account.
Yeah, that's real.
You know,
yeah.
This is for everybody, but yet we always put this perception on out there. Life is grand.
Yeah, it's easy to do. It's easy
Right?
to fake it or whatever.
It's
Yeah.
because we don't want people to know we're hurting. So conversations like the one Sydney and I are having right now, believe it or not, it's really simple. All you got to do is give your time.
Absolutely.
And speaking of time, only because I say that, can I just replay this again? We talked about a mutual friend earlier, and MJ came up with something for me.
Oh.
And what reminded me of wanting to play this as I'm doing this, time. If I'm going to play this video, if that's okay.
Oh, do your thing.
But what I love is watch the beginning of the video. What does it say about time? The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
For once in my life, it's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right.
You asked me who my favorite guest is. There's good old Steve and another Lindsay Timmons. It's just amazing. The testimonies. Fred was my very first guest. That was just there on the right. I got emotional when I was doing this.
Wow.
And there's so many stories that I could tell about each and every one. Hey, there's my You Can Begin Again. There's violence. I'm gonna rely on God. As for just, I mean, I just Wanda right there. She's the one who actually introduced me. So, what up, MJ? I just want to throw a shout out. I give so many people thanks, but MJ, I also want to shout out. I just saw the last night's video. I love it so much. I know the song about
It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, well, deepest God, somebody's broken heart, and I watched it out they follow the pattern of the wind to sea. 'Cause they got a place to be. That's why I'm starting with me.
Yes, believe it or not, in the bar.
Starting with the man in the mirror.
Listening, that means a lot. That means a lot these days, for sure.
And I'm gonna throw another shout out.
If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no sense in a pen and a clipper. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that
Others.
starting with the man in the mirror. Change his ways. No message to the man and the clipper. If you wanna make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. You gotta get it right while you got the time. And you close your heart, then you close your
You can just improve life all around with all the people that you come in contact with. And so when I tell you that your beautiful podcast is my church, that's me admitting to you that I still have faults, I still fall short. but I want to work on being better. And let me give a shout out to my employees. You know, times are tough. We're talking about gas and we're talking about food. So, you know, the brick and mortar sales isn't what it used to be. So I pray, I always say, dear Heavenly Father, the seeds that we have planted, we've talked to the customer, we've talked to the guests, can you give us the fruits? And that's turning them into sales and doing stuff. But, you know, my employees, when things get slow, they get discouraging. So, you know, God grants me the strength to have these conversations with my employees like, hey, we're just going through a rough one. It just makes you a better person by simply communicating.
Absolutely, yeah. To be able to do that and to be honest about that, you know, that need or that fault or whatever, it goes a long way to be able to have those conversations with yourself and with him and just know that you're, you know, slowly but surely coming around. So that's what it's all about. I think everybody has their thing. So that's what it's all about for all of us.
It is. And all of us. So no matter what you're thinking or what you're going through, there's just a couple things since we got a few minutes kind of ramble a little bit.
Please do.
So another thing I struggled with was the word sin. Okay. Sin was like you purposely decepted somebody. Or as extravagant as you murdered somebody, right?
Sure.
Or you cheated on your spouse. Or you went to the local casino and you spent your mortgage on that, right? So a lot of times people who, in my early days when I got saved, I'm like, God, this is great. I don't have to apologize for anything because I didn't do any of these things, right? Like I got to know you and I'm kicking it. Life is grand. That's not the case. Sin, I've learned, could be something as simple as I did wake up this morning, but I forgot to give him thanks. That's sin. You want to give him thanks. Right. So that's how it's easy for you to practice that. When you get that conscience, that subconscious, like, hey, I failed you today, it doesn't always have to be cheating on your spouse to be a sin. So whether it's a small thing or a big thing, if you don't do it, that's a sin. And when you recognize that, that also helps you become a better person. Also, too, just a few, because I got a few more minutes. You were talking about people. I've had quite a few songs up here, but I just want to throw a shout out there. Bobby Bendito, Steve Harvey. I know I'm just little Brian Trust. I know you guys got a lot of things going on, but I'm just doing a public shout out. I'd love you to be a guest. So one of the things, I just want to hurry up because I know I'm running out of time. I always ask people what their favorite song is, right? Now, I have CC up here with Goodness of God. I love it. But my era of growing up, Flesh Life, was Eazy-E, NWA. I don't know if I'm showing my age with you.
No, I love this for you, yeah.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm just going to play this while it's going here. I don't even know how you do it. Did I hit play?
I don't know any of these buttons.
But here's an NWA song to one of my favorite songs, but all the lyrics are church.
Oh, really?
Okay. So Bobby Bendito, I want you on the podcast. I've had Cole Abel on the show. He's local. Just started his own church. I'm going to turn the screen here so you can see.
Oh, wow.
That's Alton. That video, that's right there on the Alton
that's
football
so
field.
Cool.
And he talks about his promise, but he does it with the theme of Adam Sandler. I'm just doing some real quick shout outs. Here's another one, AK, the Christian rapper. What I love, he just released a song called Section 8. If you don't know what Section 8 is, that's poverty level and struggles. What I love about his mission, he's like, that's where I came from, and I want you guys to see where I'm going.
That's really cool.
Success.
Yeah.
And all these guests and all these different people that I'm shouting about, they're using their platforms to let people know about the goodness of God.
That's what it's all about. I love that.
We were okay. You run out of time so fast. I'm always full of surprises. Okay, so I just want to share this real fast. Not that I'm trying to get more followers, which social engagement. You can like, whatever. But that's Dorky Dad. Why did I want to bring that up real fast? I always use Robin Williams. Successful actor, successful comedian, passed away to the depression. Okay. I said it last week. I'm not depressed. But sometimes we don't want to get out of our comfortable zone, right? Because people know me as this. That's what Dorky Dad is for me. Why am I telling you guys this? Because if you can create a character in your mind that can just make you get out of your comfort zone and bring joy to others, that's what I do. So if anybody wants to follow me on TikTok as Dorky Dad, I use it for my family. I use it for everything. But that's the character that I'm admitting that I hide behind when I'm not trying to be Mr. Perfect or Mr. whatever. But this character allows me to be abundant of joy and explore. And I know I'm random and where was I going at with it? I don't know, but find that in you. Look in the mirror. It starts by looking in the mirror. Are you ready to change? Are you ready to make a difference? I declare this for you. Do it. Life is grand. Don't wait for that health condition we talked about. Yeah. I wished, I should, I could, I would have. And like I said, because I'm about to get clocked out of here on time, no matter where you're at in your life, no matter how you're dressed, no matter how you look, remember God created you perfect in his eyes, not to everybody else. So stop trying to please everybody else. Create that intimate relationship with the one and only who will never fail you. And it starts right now. So guess what we're going to do?
Let's hear it.
There's a bright neon blue sign right behind you.
I've seen this
You've
before.
seen this before. So on the count of 3, if you'll help me.
Yeah.